All right, this is an example with a random or a contrived story problem involving logarithms. The example we're going to work states that students in a 5th grade class were given an exam, and over the next 2 years, those same students were retested several times. The average score can be modeled by f of t equals 95 minus 16 log base 10 of t plus 1, with t between 0 and 24 as the domain, and t is time in months. The 3 tasks we will perform are: what is the average score on the original exam? What is the average score at 8 months? And after how many months does the average score drop below 82? Now these first 2 tasks are evaluations because the time is known, and this last task is solving because the time is unknown. And before I begin, I'm actually going to rewrite the model equation because students tend to make mistakes when it's written like this. I'm going to rewrite it in the following way. I'm basically going to move the 95 to the other side. Students have a tendency to combine that 95 and 16 when it's written the way it was given, and that would be erroneous. So the 95 and 16 cannot be combined. So I'm just going to rewrite it to avoid confusing myself and students as we proceed. So that first task, asking what is the average score on the original exam, this is actually asking us to evaluate the function at t equals 0. And this is implicit since they don't actually tell us t equals 0. What they tell us is original, and that corresponds to t equals 0. So we had to infer that. So we're going to evaluate f of 0, which is negative 16 log base 10 of 0 plus 1 plus 95. This is going to be negative 16 log base 10 of 1 plus 95. Log base 10 of 1 is 0. So this is going to be negative 16 times 0 plus 95, which is equal to 95. Let's make note log base anything of 10 or anything of 1 is 0. Some students get stuck in that spot. The second task, average score at 8 months. Now here, obviously, the months are explicitly given. So t is 8, and this is explicit. We don't have to infer it. So we're going to evaluate f of 8, which is negative 16 log base 10 of 8 plus 1, all of that plus 95, which is negative 16 log base 10 of 9 plus 95. Punch all of that into a calculator and we get approximately 79.7. Now this is pretty interesting. The third task is asking how long until we have a score that drops below 82, average score that drops below 82. Now from these 2 tasks that we've already performed, we can tell it's going to be between 0 and 8 months. So let's go ahead and calculate that more precisely than just saying between 0 and 8. So when does the average score drop below 82? So here the score is known, and the score is the output, and time is unknown, time is the input. So this is solving. So we're going to solve 82 equals negative 16 log base 10 of t plus 1 plus 95. We're going to solve that for t. We need to isolate the logarithm. We're going to handle the 95 first and the negative 16 second. So 82 minus 95 is equal to negative 16 log base 10 of t plus 1, and then divide both sides by the negative 16. This here is negative 13. So we have negative 13 divided by negative 16 is equal to log base 10 of t plus 1. All right, so those negatives cancel each other out. And we're left with this very simple logarithmic equation, which we solve by doing 10 to the both sides. And 10 is chosen because it's the inverse of log base 10. So 10 to the both sides. And those effectively cancel. So we have 10 to the 13/16 is equal to t plus 1. And from there we subtract 1 from both sides. And we punch that into a calculator. And we get approximately 5.5. And the units on this are months, which we were expecting between 0 and 8, so this is believable.